Welcome to Dogs Info. The perfect life, but there is a heartbreaking reality most owners completely miss. Millions of domestic dogs are well fed. They go on daily walks. They sleep on soft beds and are treated like family members. Yet, they spend their entire lives feeling chronically stressed and emotionally isolated. This is not because you are failing them on purpose. It happens because there are hidden biological needs that completely alter a canine's reality, and almost no one teaches us about them. Dogs suffer in absolute silence. They adapt quietly, hiding their anxiety behind subtle physical cues. Today, we are decoding 7 vital secrets that will completely transform your dog's life. Secret number 1: targeted physical decompression. There is a silent epidemic in our homes. Countless dogs are living with immense physical stress every single day, and their owners simply never notice. Dogs cannot speak. They cannot verbally tell you that their central nervous system is exhausted. They cannot tell you that their shoulder muscles are tight or that their fight-or-flight response has never truly powered down. Over time, this hidden tension bleeds into their behavior. They begin panting heavily for no reason. They pace restlessly across the living room floor. They struggle to fall into a deep sleep. They become easily startled by sudden noises or easily irritated by minor changes. Most humans look at this behavior and assume the dog is just naturally hyperactive. The biological truth is much deeper. Dogs store emotional stress directly in their physical tissues exactly the way humans do. This is why targeted gentle canine massage can completely revolutionize a dog's emotional baseline. When you intentionally place your hands on their body, the dynamic changes. Slowly stroke your palms down the length of their spine. Rub the dense muscles of their shoulders with a soft yielding pressure. Use small, slow, circular motions around the base of their neck. When you do this, your dog's brain begins receiving a very specific, powerful neurological signal. It tells their biology that in this exact moment they are completely safe. It is no longer just casual petting. It becomes a profound physical connection. It is a rare moment where the dog truly feels there is absolutely no need to guard the perimeter. Watch their physical behavioral cues closely. At first, they might still seem rigid. Their ears might stay locked forward. Their eyes might remain wide and alert. But after a few sustained minutes of slow, rhythmic touch, their biology shifts. Their breathing rate begins to drop. Their skeletal muscles physically soften. Their eyes lose that hard, anxious focus. Some dogs will close their eyes completely, letting their head drop heavily into your hands. For the first time all day, their autonomic nervous system is finally allowed to rest. A dog that receives this kind of intentional physical touch does not just become calmer. They begin to trust your leadership on a much deeper level. In a dog's sensory world, gentle, peaceful touch speaks far louder than any verbal command ever could. Secret number 2: unbroken biological presence. There is a profound reality that many dog owners never stop to truly process. To your dog, you are not just a piece of their daily routine. You are their entire universe. Their whole existence revolves around your physical presence. They track the specific sound of your footsteps. They memorize your unique scent profile. They monitor the tone of your voice. They even absorb the microscopic shifts in your emotional state. The truly heartbreaking part is that many dogs spend all day sitting right beside their owners, yet they never actually feel connected to them. They walk right beside you on the leash, but your eyes remain locked downward on a glowing phone screen. They lie heavily next to your feet on the couch, but your mind is thousands of miles away, lost in work, stress, or digital distractions. From a logical human perspective, you are physically in the room. But from your dog's biological perspective, you feel incredibly distant. Dogs do not measure your love by the sheer number of hours you exist in the same house. They measure your love through focused presence. They measure it by the way you make direct eye contact when they turn their head to check on you. They measure it through the few extra patient seconds you give them to investigate an interesting scent on the sidewalk. They feel it in the soft, dedicated tone of your voice when you call their name after a grueling day. To a canine, those tiny, focused, micro moments are exactly what creates a deep sense of pack belonging. Canine science has revealed something truly remarkable about our bond. Dogs absorb human emotions with staggering intensity. If you walk through the front door feeling stressed, irritable, or emotionally detached, your dog's nervous system immediately begins to destabilize. They absorb your chaotic energy. But if you deliberately slow your movements down, sit quietly beside them, and truly focus your attention on them for just 5 minutes, their entire biology changes. Their heart rate literally syncs with yours. What dogs desperately need is not a flawless, wealthy lifestyle. They need the undeniable feeling that their favorite person is truly mentally present with them. Secret number 3: intense cognitive enrichment. This is a concept that the vast majority of dog owners completely misunderstand. People often think that because their dog runs around the backyard and takes a brisk walk around the block, their needs are fully met. They assume physical exhaustion equals a happy dog. But it is not true. A dog can be completely physically exhausted and still be entirely mentally starved. You have to look at their evolutionary biology. A dog's brain was intricately designed by nature to solve complex problems. Their wild ancestors survived by tracking microscopic scent trails. They had to make rapid tactical decisions. They had to forage for hidden food sources. They had to constantly observe their changing environment and decode subtle physical signals from their pack. That massive intellectual instinct never disappeared. It is still hardwired into your dog's DNA. Yet today, millions of dogs live lives that are painfully, agonizingly repetitive. They eat the exact same kibble from the exact same metal bowl. They walk the exact same concrete route every single morning. They repeat the exact same passive routine for years on end. Then owners act surprised when their dogs begin destroying the sofa cushions. They wonder why the dog barks endlessly at the living room window, digs massive holes in the yard, or paces the floor with restless anxiety. The harsh truth is that is rarely a bad or disobedient dog. That is a highly intelligent mind that is slowly decaying from chronic boredom. That is why introducing intense mental stimulation can transform a dog's behavior with shocking speed. You do not need expensive equipment. Simply rolling their daily food tightly inside a heavy towel and letting them unroll it works wonders. Using a complex snuffle mat to hide high V-value treats forces them to use their brain. Shaping a brand new challenging trick wakes up their dormant neural pathways. Something fascinating happens to their biology after just 15 minutes of intense cognitive work. Many dogs will drop into a deeper, more peaceful sleep than they would after a full hour of mindless fetching. Mental processing drains a dog's energy reserves far more efficiently than physical running. Most importantly, every single time a dog successfully solves a mental puzzle, their brain receives a massive spike of dopamine. They experience a profound sense of biological achievement. They feel like they are finally living the purposeful life they were engineered for. They stop merely existing in your house and they start actively using the brilliance they were born with. Secret number 4: deep olfactory freedom. We view the world primarily through our eyes. We see colors, shapes, and movement. But your dog perceives the entire universe through their nose. Their olfactory bulb is vast and incredibly complex. When a dog walks outside, they are not just looking at trees and fire hydrants. They are reading an invisible, highly detailed chemical landscape. They can smell which animals passed by hours ago. They can detect the emotional state of the dog that left a mark on the corner. They read the neighborhood like a daily newspaper. Yet, human beings constantly rush them. We put them on a short leash and physically drag them away from the most interesting scents because we are in a hurry to finish the walk. Imagine someone dragging you through an art museum at a full sprint, forcing you to look away from every painting. That is exactly how a dog feels when they are rushed through a walk. Denying a dog the right to sniff is denying them their primary sensory experience. Allowing your dog to engage in deep olfactory freedom completely changes their mental health. When you take them on a walk, designated specific times where the sole purpose is sniffing. We call this a sniffari. Let them stop at that patch of tall grass. Let them bury their nose in the dirt for 2 full minutes if they want to. Do not pull the leash. Do not verbally rush them. Just stand quietly and let their brain process the complex chemical data. Studies have proven that allowing a dog to sniff freely significantly lowers their pulse rate. It physically reduces their circulating stress hormones. It provides massive psychological relief. A slow 20-minute walk where the dog is allowed to sniff everything is infinitely more exhausting and fulfilling for their brain than is 77. A fast force 2-mile jog on concrete. Give them back their most powerful sense. Secret number 5, safe canine social literacy. There is an intricate silent language happening all around us that humans will never fully speak. It is the complex physical language of dogs. A millimeter shift of a dog's ear, a subtle stiffening of the shoulder muscles, a deliberate turning away of the head, the specific curving path 2 dogs take as they approach each other. In a fraction of a second, dogs are exchanging hundreds of biological micro signals that humans completely miss. Because of this complex communication, you can never entirely replace the presence of other dogs in your pet's life. However, modern society has created a massive problem. Many dogs grow up almost entirely isolated from a healthy canine world. They never learn how to fluently read these subtle social signals. They never experience natural calm interactions with their own species. Then, inevitably, they see another dog on the sidewalk. They panic. They react with explosive fear or overwhelming overstimulation. They bark aggressively, lunge against the collar, and spin in circles. Owners immediately panic and label the dog as aggressive. But most of the time, that is simply a deeply insecure dog that never learned the language of safety. The absolute worst thing you can do is throw an insecure dog into the chaotic, unpredictable environment of a crowded dog park. That only floods their nervous system with panic. The secret to changing their life is providing slow, highly controlled, positive exposure. Start by finding one calm, balanced dog. Meet in a completely neutral environment like an open field. Do not force them to greet face to face. Walk them parallel to each other at a safe distance. Let them observe each other's body language without any physical pressure. Let them slowly close the distance on their own terms. Every single calm, uneventful interaction becomes a permanent safe memory file. They exist as an animal in the world, making their own choices without human interference. That tiny taste of freedom is a powerful medicine for an anxious canine mind. Secret number 7, instinct-driven playtime. Many people view playing with their dog as a luxury. They see it as a fun little activity to do on the weekends if the weather is nice. But for a dog, play is not just a casual reward. It is a deeply urgent biological emotional need. When a dog engages in high-intensity play, they are not just burning off calories. They are safely activating the deepest, oldest predatory instincts buried inside their DNA. They possess a biological need to track, to chase, to capture, to tug, and to feel the thrill of a hunt. The sad reality is that millions of dogs never get to truly release these instincts. They go for a highly structured, boring walk and then spend the next 10 hours lying silently on a rug. They experience no physical challenge. They feel no adrenaline. They have no moments of absolute uninhibited joy. Over time, that trapped, stagnant energy mutates into severe behavioral issues. They chew up baseboards. They bark obsessively at the fence. They sprint frantically through the house at midnight. What they are desperately trying to communicate is a biological need for an outlet. The secret is discovering exactly what kind of play unlocks your dog's specific genetics. Some dogs possess a massive retrieval drive and want to chase a ball until the sun goes down. Others need the heavy physical resistance of playing a fierce game of tug-of-war with a thick rope. Scenthounds might become entirely obsessed with tracking down a specific toy hidden in the woods. Once you find the exact game that triggers their specific biology, their entire physical form changes. Their eyes lock on with laser focus. Their muscles tone up. But it is not just about physical joy. It is about your relationship. High-intensity shared play acts as a massive biological bonding event. It triggers intense oxytocin bonding loops between you and the dog. During play, a dog lowers all their social defenses. They trust you completely. They allow themselves to become silly, wild, and totally free in your presence. Just 15 minutes of highly focused, instinctual play every single day can heal a dog's emotional wounds faster than hours of silent petting. To a dog engaging in raw, joyous play with the human they trust most is the absolute pinnacle of happiness. After hearing all of this, you might begin to view the dog resting at your feet through an entirely different lens. Dogs were never designed by nature to survive on premium kibble alone. They need far more than just a warm roof over their heads. A dog can be fed massive meals every single day and still starve from emotional loneliness. They can live in a massive, expensive house and still suffer from chronic invisible stress. They can spend their entire 10 or 15-year lifespan sitting right beside their owner, yet never truly feel understood as an animal. What dogs truly require from us is surprisingly simple. They need intentional, gentle physical touch to regulate their nervous systems. They need focused, unbroken presence so they feel truly seen. They need the freedom to use their incredibly powerful noses. They need the agency to make their own choices. They need to activate their primal instincts through play. But most importantly, they need the undeniable certainty that they belong to a pack. That biological need to belong is exactly why your dog will wait by the front door for 8 straight hours just to see your face. It is why they greet you with explosive, overwhelming joy, even if you only walked outside to check the mail. To a dog, love is not a complex equation. They give their entire fragile heart to one specific person. Then they spend almost their whole life hoping that person will eventually learn to speak their language. The most heartbreaking aspect of dogs is their capacity for unconditional forgiveness. They continue loving their owners deeply even when their complex emotional needs are entirely ignored. They do not hold grudges. They do not harbor resentment. They simply adapt to the quiet loneliness. They endure it silently and they continue loving you in the absolute only way they are biologically capable of. The single greatest thing that will change a dog's life forever is not a massive backyard. It is not an expensive leather collar. It is not gourmet treats. It is simply one human being finally taking the time to truly decode their biology and understand their silent emotions for the very first time. Tonight, before you go to sleep, try giving your dog a few truly intentional minutes. Put the phone in another room. Turn off the television. Stop rushing through your evening routine. Just sit down beside them on the floor. Slowly, gently stroke the muscles of their neck and spine. Look directly into their eyes just a few seconds longer than you normally would. Watch how their physical body responds to your unbroken focus. Watch the tension melt away just because you are truly there. You will soon realize something incredibly profound. Throughout their entire tragically short life, your dog never needed you to be a flawless human being. They do not care about your bank account. They do not care if your workday was a massive success or a total failure. They do not care about your social status. The only biological question they constantly ask is, are you truly here with me right now? That level of pure unadulterated devotion is so rare that human beings often spend their entire lives searching for it. It is a love that always forgives. It is a love that patiently waits by the glass door. It is a love that feels explosive joy simply because your shadow crossed the threshold. Dogs are granted such a brief fleeting moment on this earth. Yet during those few short years, they willingly hand over their entire existence to their owner. If understanding these biological secrets made you look at your dog differently today, then their life has already begun to change for the better. Their silent language is waiting to be heard. We would absolutely love to hear about the loyal companion who shares your life. Drop down into the comments section right now and tell us you're beautiful. Dogs. Thing for watching and like and subscribe share please.